Hi, hello again everyone. Welcome to song lesson number 3. Number 3 on album 1 is the song called Thin. This is the song that I choose to end a lot of my gigs on. It's got the big "It's Not Over Till You're Underground" sing-along part, which is always the most fun thing in the world. So yeah, thank you for joining in with that one at gigs. It's just, yeah, makes my heart smile, that bit. It's a lot simpler than last week's lesson this time. Thin is a real easy song to play. You've got 3 sections: verse, chorus and a middle 8, all of which are really simple, all of which are in standard guitar tuning, so that makes it easy right off the bat. As always, I've got my little camera set up here so you can see what my left hand is doing, and yeah, so here we go. So the verse and the intro are the same thing pretty much, all based around a power chord. So a power chord, for those of you who don't know, is when you do this sort of thing. You really only play three strings. So most people play it with just the 2 fingers, holding the thick string down, the E string down, and then 2 frets up from that, the A and the D string. You can do it with that. I tend to use the little finger as well. But you generally only play the 3 strings that you're holding. The rest of them you mute or dampen with the flat part of your forefinger. So instead of it going, letting all those strings ring, which sounds wrong, you dampen them by just resting this part of the finger over the strings. This one's not doing anything. I'm not swearing at you, I promise. So that, there's your power chord. So you do your power chord in a D. So for that, you want the A string in your first finger, fret 5, and then your 3rd and 4th finger on the D and the G, frets 7. And you only play those 3. And there's your D. There's your D. By the way, I apologise if I'm a little bit sunburned. I had a bit of a snooze on the sun lounger yesterday, and I got a little bit rosy faced. Anyway, so there's your D power chord. Just hitting those three notes. The very top of my forefinger is muting the E string that's not being played. So if I can strum all the way around like this, and I'm only going to hit these 3 strings. These 2 strings are being muted by the bottom end of my forefinger. Bit of practice, you'll get used to it. That's basically how you play a power chord. Right. Then all you do, so there's your D. It's your first chord of the song. Second chord, middle finger, 6th fret on the G, and then you just take off your little finger, and that gets that descending tone. And the 3rd chord is, then you just move your first finger down onto there, keeping these 2 exactly where they were, and you can actually release the dampening of the rest of the strings so you get the whole of that chord, because that just sounds beautiful. So you're muting and just playing these 3. Take off the little one, and then the whole chord, moving that finger down. That's the intro and the verse, real simple. Then there's there is another section. It's the pre-chorus. The "It's Not Over Till You're Underground." And again, you're keeping your hand in exactly the same space, and you're keeping these 2 fingers exactly where they are, and then using your middle finger to hit fret 7 on the E, and then fret 5 on the E. It's not over till you're underground, like that. And you're dampening again with the rest. So you're only playing with this hand the strings that you want to hear. So these thinner strings are being dampened by the sort of back end of these fingers now. If you let them all ring open, it doesn't quite sound right, so you just go, get only the ones you want. So, but it's not over till you're under. And then on ground, you go to a G, ordinary G, like this. Ground. And then while you're strumming the G, you don't have to, but I often do a little which is just using the E string. And a full G would be that. But you can get away with not playing this finger dampening the A string with the back end of your middle finger so that you can go. And then the ba is just an A. Again, you can play a straight A, which is you can play A sus2, which sometimes is just the two middle ones. It's a beautiful chord. I vary it. Again, I probably should play it the same every time, but I don't. So, let's recap those bits. The verse bit. The pre-chorus. It's and then the lead up to the chorus. And then you're into the chorus. And the chorus is dead simple. It's a G, ordinary G. So I'm just trying to get along. D. And then while I'm playing the D, I lift off and hammer on my middle finger, which is on the E string. It alternates between a straight D and a D sus2, I think it's called. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get along. A D. G again. The way I've always done it. D. If it's wrong. And on the A, what I do is I play. It's an A with the suspended fourth. So it's an A, but with also your little finger up on fret 3 on the B string. But I play it a bit like, I play the A like that, which is a bit like playing like a power chord. And with my little third finger, I play that third fret on the B. I don't know why I do it like that, but and then slide it down. It really should be done with like an A, but for some reason I do it like this. Of the chorus, back up to the power chord for essentially what is the intro but shorter, and into verse 2. So in verse 2 there is also the palm mute or let ring line, and for that bit I literally just palm mute. And a palm mute, if you don't know, is where you take your strumming hand's palm, you rest it on all of the strings right at the back, right by the saddle, and you just like that. Pretty much what I do all the time when I'm doing the fast strumming stuff in other songs like Diabetes Blues, or I'm doing that kind of thing. This hand is palm muting. Comes from the days when I used to pretend to be a punk rocker when I was in a punk rock band, sort of. Anyway, so it's palm mute or let ring, and then you just let the strings ring. Yes, there you go. It's a pun within a song, within a pun within a song. I thought it was funny 10 years ago when I wrote it. You know that bit by now. Then there's the chorus. At the end of chorus 2, instead of going back to the D, you go to the middle 8 section, which is just a B minor and A. So yeah, the middle 8 bit is B minor and A, but you kind of and what I'm doing there is when I'm holding the B minor down, because it's a power chord, because it's a bar chord, when you hold the strings down, you get a chord, you release pressure with your hand, you get the deadened noise. So you can go. So when I want the notes to come through, I'm pressing the chord in. When I don't want it to come through for the bits, you just release the pressure. But when you move to the A, that doesn't work because not all the strings are being held down by a bar chord finger. So I'm playing an A with these two here in the middle on the D and the G with my first finger, just holding them down, dampening the thinner strings again with the back end of this finger, and then dampening the rest of the strings with the rest of my hand. So it looks like I'm flapping my hand about all the time, which probably looks more technical or difficult than it is. I'm just deadening the strings, that's all that is. All those fingers going back on for. So I'm just playing the A like that rather than like that or like that. various different ways. I'm just doing, essentially it's a power chord, a bit like that, so you're really only getting the strings you want to hear again. So the middle 8 part. And then you back up to your very final first part. And then the very last time you get to the pre-chorus, instead of just strumming it normally, you go, it's not over till you're under. And then you're back into the chorus. Double chorus and end. Simple as that. So there we go. Those are the different parts of the song. I hope I've made that as clear as I can. So what we'll do now we know the parts, we will play through the song from start to finish together and see how we get on. Are you ready? Right, here we go. When you fall, to think a single eyelid will be battered all. To think they'll notice when you leave, all things remain the same the way they've always been. But it's not over till you're fitting. Do you think they care about what you sing? Do you think it matters if it's palm mute or let ring? You can't be replaced. Younger model, better body, more attractive face. But it's not over till you're underground. So I'm just trying to get along the way I've always done it, even if it's wrong. And I'm just trying to stay thin, thin enough to fit these jeans, maybe still fit in. Do you think I wonder if I'm wrong? I care as long as people sing along. But it's not over till you're underground. So I'm just trying to get along the way I've always done it, even if it's wrong. And I'm just trying to stay thin, Right, so that's it for now. I hope that was clear enough and okay to follow. Thank you again for watching. I hope you're learning how to play along okay. And I'll see you next week for track 4 from the album Trial and Error, which is... Damn it, I can't remember what it is. Is it Truth? Guess we'll find out. See you next week.